generation. No more standing out in line. So good at wasting our time. We are the lazy generation. We are the lazy generation. We are the lazy generation now.
Welcome to round 8 of the 2008 GP4 Offline League Championship. We are here for the French Grand Prix here at the Manicourt circuit. Now the news for this race is that Paige Knight was injured after the crash at the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, so Sin Cara will make a one race return with Toyota just for this race, so Paige Knight will return for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Now the French Grand Prix has not been on the calendar for nearly 8 years now, which is, to be honest, it's quite sad because, I mean, France is a great country. It needs a Grand Prix. We don't really have that many French drivers in Formula 1 these days, so it is quite sad, unfortunately, that there are no Grand Prix or many French drivers on the grid. I don't actually know if there are any on the grid right now. I don't think there are. But this race, I personally I think this track's okay. I don't think there's anything special, but here is the grid. It is Will Nella on pole, Bruno Giancarlo, the two Ferraris on the front row, Joseph Willis is in third, George Rogan in fourth, Waze Kuba in fifth, great qualifying from him, Felix Sontag in sixth, and as we go up the order, it is James Willows in seventh, Sin Cara in eighth, good qualifying from him in his only race of the season, unless he moves to another team. In ninth place is Jay McKenzie, 10th is Sam Thompson. As we go up below the top 10, in 11th place is Roland Moichin, 12th is Mikos Gal. Moichin, who's had a pretty nightmare season so far, has scored no points as of this moment. Gal, who's had an okay season. In 13th is Florian Volker, 14th Southgate. In 15th is Evan Byrne, 16th is Jack Boyman. Another good qualifying from Evan Byrne or Jack Boyman. 17th place, Finlay Strachan with Dominic DeLazio in 18th. As we go further down the order, it is Viggo Holst 19th, Azul Safri 20th, with the two Super Aguris of Surkoff and Wolf at the back of the field. And that is the grid for the French Grand Prix. We are now about to move on to the race. So let's see what the weather is going to be like, and it is going to be bright and sunny. So let's see how this race will go. We're now on the grid. The lights are about to come on. 70 laps here. The lights are now on. It's 3 lights, 4 lights, and now 5 lights. And the lights are out, and away we go. And Nella gets a good start. Kuba doesn't get a good start. Sontag makes a great start, and he's up past Waze Kuba. Great start by Felix Sontag, as he is up into 5th place and trying to make a move on rope. Everyone seems to have avoided a crash in the first corner as we come down the back straight. We're about to come to the hairpin where there's usually chaos in a lot of races. We're about to come to the hairpin on board with James Willis in 7th place. Sontag makes a move on rope for 4th place, and he makes a stick, and there has been a collision at the back, and that is, who is that who's lost his front wing? That's rear wing, so it's Mikos Gal who has lost it. Let's see what happens. You can see on board it's always very tight. It's very close coming into the hairpin, and he gets hit by the Honda there of, I believe that is Southgate, and it is Southgate who loses his front wing. So Gal will now have to make a long trek to the pit lane. Is Moichin battling with Paige Knight there. Sontag up to 4th. A great start from him. Nella still leading from Shakira. Willow's 3rd. Rope down to 5th. Nella leads coming into the second to last chicane of the circuit, going around in the right hand. I don't really know the corners on this track, unfortunately, as it comes down to the final couple of corners. As Evan Byrne has now lost his rear wing, he's been hit by the Red Bull of Sam Thompson. Fortunately, they're close to the pit, so it's not going to affect them too badly. Show what happens here. As Thompson coming on the chicane, you can see he brakes far too late and then hits the back of Byrne. A silly mistake there by Thompson, and that is going to cost him badly in the race. Fortunately, it doesn't cost them their race altogether. They can still hopefully get something out of it. And as they are near the pits, it won't affect them hugely. Well, it will put them to the back, but not as bad as Southgate and Mikhail Skal as they come into the pits. Now that's the fastest lap. They come into the pits. They stop Strachan. There's a bit of a battle going on here. The back, there's Strachan and Zafri. Into the pits comes now Southgate and Gal. Excuse me. And Byrne comes out just ahead of Thompson. Here is Southgate as well in the pits. There goes Gal. And out goes Southgate. Quite a narrow pits. Quite a narrow pits there. Always has been. Sontag there in 4th. Roke a bit further behind in 5th. Under pressure from Waze Kuba in 6th place. With Willows and Knight behind him. They come around into the penultimate chicane of the circuit. Sontag, who's had a good start, a decent start so far. But nothing too special, but hopefully that should improve in the next few races. We're on board with Bruno Shakera, coming through the final chicane. Behind Will Nella, comes through, and Will Nella sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:15.9. He comes around the first and the second and the third corners very fast as part of the circuit. And oh, there's been a collision, and that is Surkov with Adam Wolf. The two teammates have hit each other, and Surkov is out of the race. Wolf is going to get to the pits, but what has happened here? See, Wolf had a good run on him, but Wolf wasn't really ever going to make that move stick, to be honest, so that's a silly move by Wolf, which has cost Surkov the race, his race, and that is him out. Surkov will have to retire, as his car has lost his rear wheel. As you can see in the order, Volker's up into 10th, a good start by him, moved up 3 places. Moitin's up 2 into 9th, good start by him. The rest of the top 10 haven't moved. Sincara's still in 8th, still in the points. James Willows in 7th, top 3 haven't moved any places. Kuba obviously has dropped a place, so has Roke. Sontag made a good start, so not been a particularly interesting race so far, but there'll still be something good that happens throughout the rest of the race. The yellow flag is out for Zirkel's car, and that is Evan Byrne, who has lost it coming around turn 3. You can go on board with him. He comes around, you can see he gets a bit understeer. He just goes wide. He slows the car, but he goes on the Astro and he loses the car and he spins out. So it's not been a good race for Byrne already, and now he's going to drop all the way down into 19th place. Well, actually, or possibly 20th if Wolf can get past him, and yes, he does. Not been a good race for Evan Byrne so far. And his runner Moitin, he's gone wide, and he has gone off the track, and Moitin's horrific season gets even worse. He's running in 9th place on lap 9, and he loses control of the car, and goes off, does exactly the same as Evan Byrne, except he goes off with a lot more speed, and he goes off into the barriers, and that is him out of this race. In a horrific season. I believe Moitin is actually last in the driver's standings, which is quite unfortunate for him. He's not had any luck either by his own fault or by sorry about this, guys. By his fault or by his car, mainly. But he is out the race on lap 9 from 9th place, and he will want the season to be over as soon as possible, really. But going on board with Zafri, and I think that was Boyman, who was getting a bit out of shape coming into the chicane. You can go on board with Zafri, who skipped all the way to lap 20, so I don't believe much has happened. You can go on board with Zafri, he goes a bit wide, he goes onto the curbs, he nearly slides off, and nearly loses it twice. Great car control there from Zafri, though. He manages to control the car very well. These guys are quite unsettling, but he keeps it on the track, as he's still in 14th place. But as you can see, the top 5 have not changed any positions, still now leading from Junqueira, Willows, Sontag and Roke, as Evan Byrne now comes into the pits for his second stop. and so does Delacio, who's also been at the back as Nella goes past to lap him as Junqueira, his teammate, comes into the pits. See how quick this stop is going to be for the Brazilian driver. He's had a good start to his Ferrari career so far, and he does a 13.6, so he'll come out in fourth place as he drops anywhere further down the pack. I don't believe he does. He comes out fourth as Roke comes out beside him. I don't think Roke will get past him. Still in fifth, still ahead of Kuba and Knight, and now Volker as Willows, who was running in 7th place, now coming into the pits. Willows coming out in 10th place. In a good race so far for him. Had a decent season as well, as there was Finn Strachan, who's going to go past him. Is Viggo Holst going to go past him? Oh, I don't think he did, as now Zafri comes into the pits. See how his stop goes. Zafri actually had a throttle problem, so that is why he had to come into the pits. And that is not good for him. He was having a decent race. He was running in 14th, really minding his own business, as now Will Nella comes into the pits. See how quick this stop is for the Ferrari driver. And he does a 12.1. Joseph Wills will now take the lead of the Grand Prix. Sometimes he'll stay in 3rd place. Still got to make a stop though, Sontag, so comes around the first corner now into the 2nd and the 3rd. Not that much has actually happened in this race, to be honest. I'm quite surprised, as there is Will Nella, who just comes out ahead of Sontag. Will Sontag get by Nella going into the hairpin? He's got a much better run. He's got the slipstream. He's going at 320 kilometers an hour. He's going to try and make the move into the hairpin. They're very close, but oh, there was so nearly contact there. But Nella stays in front of Sontag, as here is Kara right behind Waze Kuba, as Volker is now in the pits for Toro Rosso. There goes Strachan, yet to make a stop. Viggo Holst also in the pits now. He comes in, makes his stop, and so does Adam Wolf, making his 2nd stop of the race after the collision with his teammate Surkoff. There'll be words in the Super Aguri with the Super Aguri team after this, as now into the pits comes Sin Cara, who's had a quiet race, Toro Rosso, but nevertheless managed to keep it out of trouble. He does a stop. He does a 13-second stop. He'll come out in 8th place. When he's there in 8th place, there is Strachan, so Strachan might try and make a move, even though he hasn't quite pitted yet, as Nikos Gal is now in the pits. Gal, who lost his front wing, his rear wing, sorry, earlier on after the collision with Southgate. He'll come out now. I don't know where he'll come out. He'll come out in the pack right in the middle of all these drivers. Now Sontag makes his way into the pits. Sontag, who was running in 3rd at the moment, he had also himself quite a quiet race. He made a great start, getting past both Kuba and Roke. He got his way past Roke at the hairpin. As into the pits also now is Waze Kuba. Sontag gets away in 11.5 second stop, and he'll come out in, I believe it will be 5th place. And yes, he does. He does come out ahead of Jay McKenzie. Waze Kuba now coming out in 7th, or will Sin Cara beat him coming around the first corner? This will be the big question, as Boyman now comes into the pits for Williams. Kuba is in 7th, as you can see. Is he going to come out ahead of Cara? We will have to see. Boyman, who's not had a particularly great race, didn't have a good qualifying, and that is, well, not costing him badly. He comes out of the pits. He'll be mired in his battle at the back of the grid, I believe. There is Thompson, and there goes the cars. The Boyman is going to drop down to 15th, as there is Willows, Joseph Willows, who's about to lap Jack Boyman, and it's all very close. Boyman not exactly getting out of his way. Zafri is right behind this Dominic Delatio as Roke is in the pits. Zafri tries to make a move, but he can't do it as Willows goes past Boyman. And Roke is in the pits. Roke's had, again, another quiet race. A quick stop there from the VW crew. He will come out, I believe, still behind Sontag, and yes, he does. There goes Felix Sontag. There is his teammate Jay McKenzie in 6th place. Roke will come out ahead. They come round the 3rd corner of the racetrack. Circuit which again is quite sad that it's not on the Formula 1 calendar anymore, and Roke will still be comfortably ahead. There is Will Neller coming around into the right hander. He's coming up to some traffic. Coming up to the Honda of, well, she's coming up to Adam Wall. This gal is trying to make a move on, I believe this is Zafri. I'm not sure if that was. It's Joseph Willows now comes into the pits for his first stop. I believe he'll try and go. Actually, no, I don't know if he'll try and go to the end. He's gone quite a fair bit later than most of the other drivers, so we will see if he decides to go to the end or not. But I believe he would still need to probably pit a few laps later if he wanted to try and go to the end. But let's see how good he is trying to preserve his tyres. He comes out, he does a 10.3, so I believe he is going to try and go to the end. Right in 3rd, there's Sontag coming around the final chicane. We skipped a lap there. Sam Thompson is now in the pits, as is Finley Strachan. Strachan comes out ahead of Thompson, probably just ahead of this big pack of cars that are fighting at the moment, as here comes Zafri. Here is this Sin Cara, Waze Kuba. There was so nearly contact, but Cara makes the move stick. A great move from the Toyota driver, and he makes the move ahead of Waze Kuba up into 7th place. Great move, but Kuba is going to come straight back at him into the chicane, but he has to back out as he wasn't really. There was going to be a collision otherwise, as Zafri now comes in the pits. There is another stop. He comes out in dead last at the moment in 20th place. We are now at the halfway point. Well, actually, no, we've gone past the halfway point, as there is Willows going past the Toyota there, as there is still traffic ahead. Rope's running in a race of his own at the moment. Mackenzie's coming into the pits, so he's obviously gone quite long on his stop. I believe he is also going to try and go to the end. See how quick this stop is from the BMW Sauber crew. 14.5, so they definitely are going to fuel him to the end of the race. He comes out, will he stay in 10th place or will he come out any lower? By the look of it, he is going to stay in 10th place. And he does so. As we skip to lap 44, Alex Southgate's in the pits, so unfortunately there's not actually that much on-track racing at the moment, so not been a particularly great race, to be honest. And usually all the races in the GP4 Offline Championship are quite good, but this one hasn't been one of them. As he comes out, there's a 12.9. Southgate, who got involved in that first lap collision with Gal, has cost him badly. He's now mired at the back of the grid. There's Waze Kuba about to come round at the first, about to come down and lap him. Here is Willows right on the back of Bruno Schincaro, who's been held up by Viggo Holst. Willows going to make the move on the inside into the hairpin, and Willows is going to make the move stick, is he? And yes, he does. He does make the move stick. Schincaro was getting held up there by Viggo Holst, who was not letting him through. And that is a crucial move, so Willows now takes 2nd place. As into the pits now comes Will Neller for his 2nd stop. The first bit of overtaking we've actually seen in a while. He does a 6-second stop. He comes out of the pits. There's Gal, there's Delacio, there is Willows, who got past Schincaro. Willows, who at the moment will take the lead of the Grand Prix. I believe that is for race position, but I'm not sure if Willows is going to be able to go to the end, as I believe that was Gal, has got a transmission problem or problem of some sort, and he hits his car into the barriers, and it is Gal, and he is out of the race. An unfortunate problem for him, and he's had an incident on the first lap, and sadly it wasn't really going to be able to get any points today. Delacey was in the pits. Is that James Willows? No, it is Joseph Willows going to come into the pits. So Joseph did not go to the end like I suppose I suppose thought he would. As Shakira will take second place back. Willows will drop down the order a little bit. He comes out in fourth place. Delacey coming up behind him. Vigor Holst in the pits. Car is now up to sixth. There's Roke in fifth place. He's had again quite a quiet race. Nothing really special at all, to be honest. Here is Jay McKenzie, who's coming around the chicane. He's gone very wide, and he's unfortunately managed to survive that. I thought he was going to spin there. He went over the curb. He was going very fast into that chicane, but he managed to get away with it. As Waze Kuba is now in the pits for for Renault. Here is Junqueira in third. Willows in second place, as we are now skipped all the way to lap 69, as again nothing much has happened in this race. There's not really been that much overtaking. It's really been a procession, unfortunately. As here is Kuba in 7th place, Sin Cara in 6th, and a good race from Sin Cara, who's set to bag himself some points. As is this Roke in front of him? No, it's not, I don't believe. I believe that is... Does that sound right? I can't tell. I believe that could be. And yes, it is. This is the battle for 5th place. So this is Sin Cara right behind George Roke. For the battle for 5th place, it would be a great result for Cara. Roke, who again, as I said, has not had exactly a special race, as Nella sets the fastest lap of the race, showing his authority on the rest of the pack. Kuba behind Cara in 7th. Can he bag himself a couple of positions? Volker going to nick the last points for Toro Rosso. Good race from him. Managed to avoid trouble, unlike his teammate. Nella is coming into the hairpin. He's got a 22-second lead over Willows. He has dominated this race. Looked flawless as soon as he took the lead. I don't know if he's led it. I don't think he's led every lap, but he's led probably nearly every lap. He's coming up to the Honda and the Super Aguri in front of him. I believe probably Wolf and probably Delacio. But I don't know if Nella's going to need it when he doesn't need to catch it. He can honestly just put his car in cruise mode, really. He's, as I said, dominated this race. No one has looked close to getting him. He comes around through the hairpin, and he's going to be right behind these guys as they come to the line. But he's not going to lap them. I believe the speed they would lap them twice. Then it comes around the penultimate corner, and now he comes into the final chicane. And Will Nella is going to come around down the start-finish straight, and Will Nella wins the French Grand Prix. A fantastic race from the Swedish driver. As Mackenzie comes down in 9th place, not been a good race from him. Willows in 10th, Thompson in 11th. Joseph Willows is going to come home in 2nd place. Nella might be British. I do apologise, but Joseph Willows is going to come home in 2nd place, made the move on Junqueira, and there is Junqueira going to come home in 3rd place. Another podium for him, and he sets the fastest lap of the race. He takes it away from his teammate. A bit cheeky there from Junqueira. He was strapping, then come home in 12th place. Junqueira, who will probably just get a cookie for that one. They'll probably have a bit of a discussion after the race about that with Nella. Sontag comes home in 4th place. A good race from him. Never really looked like, sadly, getting a podium. But hopefully he'll improve in the next race. But 4th is a good result for him nonetheless. Here comes the pack. And Roke does hold off from Sin Cara in 6th place. A great race from Sin Cara. Waze Kuba takes 7th, and Volker takes the final point spot in 8th place. As Holst is just going to hold off from Delacio and take 18th place. Coming over the line, Southgate, who got involved on the first lap collision. Sadly, it didn't go well. So here are the full race results. Will Nella wins, Joseph Willows 2nd, British Kira 3rd, Felix Sontag 4th, all on his own, George Roke 5th, mainly all on his own for most of the race. Sin Cara 6th, Waze Cooper 7th, Thornville takes the final point in 8th. Then all the rest of the drivers have been lapped, so that is Jay McKenzie, Willows, Thompson, Strachan, Boyman, Delasio, Evan Byrne, Zafri, Wolf, Holst, and Southgate, and with Gal, Moitian, and Surkov retiring. And Bruno Jacquet, as you can see, takes the fastest lap by 10 thousandths per second ahead of Nella. Willow 3rd, Thompson in 4th, Volker in 5th, good pace from him. Sontag in 6th place, Wayscuba 7th, Sin Cara 8th, Roke 9th, Gal in 10th, Zafri in 11th, Willows 12th, Wool 13th, Byrne 14th, Mackenzie down in 15th. Not a good pace from him. Shows that he didn't have the pace to get in the points as he only came in 9th. Then it's Strachan, Boyman, Delasio, Southgate, Moitian down in 20th place, Holst in 21st, and Surkov who got involved. So here are the point standings and the constructor standings. Willows leads by 5 points ahead of Nella, who is 15 points ahead of Sontag. Sontag, who still at this moment in time could win the championship, but needs to finish a bit higher, needs to start getting the podiums more. If he wants to keep up with these two. Mackenzie's 4th, Roke is in 5th, just ahead of Roke. Mackenzie's by a point. Mars is 6th, Junqueira already in 7th place. So he could possibly maybe nab 4th place at the end of all this. Willows is in 8th, Kuma 9th, Byrne 10th, Boyman 11th, Knight 12th, Thompson 13th, Volker 14th, Strachan 15th, Sin Cara 16th, Southgate 17th, Gal 18th, Holst and Delasio all both on 1 point, Zafri, Wolf, Surkov and Moitian, who have yet to score a point. And then the constructors, Ferrari still leading just ahead of McLaren by 7 points, BMW 3rd with 57, all on their own as well, Toyota 4th, Red Bull 5th, Williams 6th, Renault 17th, good battle here for 4th place, Toro Rosso in 8th, Honda in 9th, Force India 10th, and Super Aguri 11th. And that has been the French Grand Prix. Not in a particularly exciting race, but let's hope that the next round of the race will be at the midpoint of the season will be better. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we will see you for round 9. Goodbye.